drifted alarmingly in the betting was, Felsted in the morning continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Burns.
The ground is soft. It's not.
It's heavy.
It's soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Yes, it's that time of week again. It is Sunday sermon time when myself, John, and Chris chew the fat as always. Let's do this. Good evening, chaps. John and Chris. What's your sort of week's been? The same?
Don't know what yours is like, so I can't tell you if it's been the same or not. John, you go first, and I'll tell you if mine's been the same.
No, I mean the same as always in your own life.
Oh, I see. I thought you were asking us to make a comparison.
No.
Yeah, no great. Still sort of despair and misery.
End result's been the same. I'm still alive.
Yeah, we're still above ground, but we're no richer than we were at the beginning of the week, really. So yeah, no good.
Let's hope we can cheer a few folk up and discuss some industry topics this week, especially, and also go through your questions, which do make this show certainly what it is.
Yeah, shit.
Of course, we've got plenty to get through. It's the review time where we look back on Saturday's racing in particular this week, because we had Super Saturday. Is it so super? Some of you think not. Sort of said that for a while. But do you think switching Chester to a more evening slot, John, has made it better?
No, not really. Chester was the one nobody bothered with anyway, apart from the people that were attending Chester. So I don't think it's made that much difference, in all honesty.
Can you believe it's 58 quid to get in Chester?
I can believe it is, because it fills up every time, doesn't it? But that's just a beauty.
What's that for, like tax or members or what is that? £58?
I think it's to get all access.
£58. It's a lot of bread, isn't it? That is a lot of dough.
Them Mickey Mouses and Mancunians, they've got fortunes, haven't they?
It's all drug money, isn't it? Fucking hell, that's what it is.
Some of it's real money as well.
Yeah, something about. I found a real tenner actually in the odd yesterday. I hear, yeah.
So Super Saturday. Let us know your thoughts on Twitter. What you think to it these days? We falling out of love with it for a while. Maybe City of Troy sort of bolsters that year, won the superlative. But other than that, I don't know what to say, John. You have been very critical of the July course since we started this podcast, and obviously before we did the podcast, you were also critical of the July course due to the...
I was going to see the other July course when it was the June course.
It's fucking March course, I think. Yeah.
Benjamin's been on with a question, and why did the July course end up good to soft on Saturday? Has it progressed in the kipometer for John? And can we have his top 5 kips? First of all, Newmarket, we'll touch on that for Benjamin.
Yeah.
It's not really acceptable, is it, for starters to have a July Cup where the far side group ended up being first and second?
It just illustrates how uneven the watering can be there. I mean, you can race on the Friday night and it favours one side. You can have a dry night, allegedly. And if they race on the Saturday, it'll favour maybe the other side, or even, God forbid, up the middle. It is just the most overwatered strip of shit racing surface you'll ever come across, and I have absolutely zero confidence betting on it.
Summed it up quite nicely there. Just one thing I'll add, though, about watering and how we've got here, and how frustrating it is for people, not just casual punters, but full-time punters that have got one lined up, and then you get beaten by a watered draw bias or something like that. Question I'd have for trainers, and they are part of the problem, a lot of them refuse to run on James Sanderson style quick ground. They just refuse to run. They think they're going to injure the horses, and they just refuse to have a crack. The same trainers, by the way, when there appears a golden highway, I'll cite to Pontefract on the wide outside, usually in about August time, when it's brown, and because they can't be asked to water, and they've had to start railing it off now. So when they were that massive bias, they're more than happy to run on firm ground, on wide part of track, rather than over watered ground towards far side and centres. They're not making any sense. These trainers that won't run are happy to find that golden highway, that fast strip.
Well, when have they made any sense, Lee? I mean, we've said for long enough they're full of shit.
So if it's not safe, if they're going to break down if you don't water, why did the northern Gagler trainers, so Mick Easterby, all fathom it out, and Tim Easterby and people like that, quite early doors, that far rail, you could go wide all the way around and you'd still win, because it was about 10 lengths faster.
Hmm.
Why didn't you just leave rest at track like that? Honestly, and then what happens when they start doing it? Everyone comes over anyway. You're racing on quick ground. That's it. Make it make sense, folks. Do I make a good point there? I think so. If they're worried about running because don't want to run too quick ground this one. No. But you'll happily go up the fast strip to land the bets. That's how I see it. I think it's a farce. I think we've created a farce. The jockeys were moaning at Chester on Friday night, saying that they'd put too much on and it was riding very dead. It's unacceptable in height of summer. I do respect Clark's have a difficult job when you're dealing with 33, 34 degree temperatures, but they're constantly overwatering. It ain't just like a now and again thing, is it, where they've messed up on this occasion and you can sort of forgive that because it's an odd time. This is happening nearly all the time. It's kind of boring now. I think everyone's getting bored with it in the game. But trainers, yourselves are to blame, because if your horse doesn't like good to firm, what is wrong with saying to the jockey, if he feels he's not going anywhere or he feels like B, don't be hard on him, ease off. You don't have to overexert them. You can still run, and maybe if that ground's not for you, it's not for you. But to say it's unsafe, John said before, there's no data, John, is there?
No data at all. Every bit of data that claims to cover good to firm or firm ground doesn't differentiate between good to firm or firm and water good to firm or firm.
Exactly. You haven't got like an injury record for horses maybe twisting a tendon off the loose top of the surface. I think soil moisture's a good guide as well for actual ground. If the soil has got plenty of moisture in it, that's a good thing. It's when the soil underneath hasn't got any moisture in it and then it's all in the top bit. That seems to be July course where they seem to be knocking the top of the turf out. Let's go to some reviews then. First of all, we'll go to Newmarket. I thought it was a very disappointing superlative. I just had that feeling, John, it isn't going to be class form. Although Italy, I don't think he looked happy there at Newmarket.
I thought he looked half asleep in the paddock. It's not normal for one of us to go just moach around like that. You can take it as a positive sometimes. You think, well, he's lovely and relaxed, he's taking it all in his stride, so on and so forth. But usually his horses, they walk out properly and arch the necks and that, they show the well-being. He might not have been at his best, but tag that onto the debut where everybody's saying there's more to come. Well, if there wasn't more to come, that was about what you could have expected on Saturday. I think he's got a bit to prove now.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Come on to the July Cup, and I think we've more or less just said it, haven't we? There was a bias. Clearly, the ones towards centre stands appeared to be a huge disadvantage. I'd like to get your take on it, though. I've not asked you, I've not spoke to you after the race.
I can't argue with anybody that says there was a far side bias, because it clearly was. For that thing to be winning it, well, I could have backed 10 in that and not backed that one. I thought Nortall's speech ran well to a point, but didn't appear to get home. How do you fathom that? And he wasn't out of his comfort zone early on. Buick said he was disappointed with how he hit the line.
I thought he drifted left-handed a little bit.
He did once he came off it, quite a bit. I don't know, it was just a very, very disappointing final quarter mile from him. Kevin Ryan was probably right to be infuriated at not running, because I think the way things panned out, he might have won this.
I think less said the better. I think the standard of recent July Cups is leaving a lot to be desired. There was a point when we get Aussie Raiders coming over for it. We'd maybe have a potential champion 3-year-old sprinter.
Last two Route 1 sprints, we've had King's Stand and this. We've had 105 rated winners.
A concern, really, for racing, as of course we know from the bloodstock industry warnings that the amount of good horse stock in this country is on the wane, and we can see that from a 3-year-old John getting into the John Smith's Cup. Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, virtually unheard of these days. I mean, it went the same way as the Eva, didn't it, at the same time? I'm not exactly sure what they did to the conditions, but they both got to tweak these races, didn't they, the Eva and this one? And that was it, really, for unexposed 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
We copped one yesterday in a race that didn't even fill, which, again, unheard of.
Yeah, that's the concern, isn't it? 18 runners for a John Smith's, that is quite astonishing, like in recent times. It is a worry for racing that this is happening. We can see the decline. Everyone can see it, but nothing's been discussed or done to eradicate potential and continued decline. We come to Archivist and the ride given by Adam Farragut, and there was quite a lot of upset people. I'll ask Chris what you thought of the ride from Adam Farragher.
Yeah, I mean, I without any desire to engage in hyperbole, I thought it was possibly the worst ride I've ever seen a horse give a jockey in UK racing. It was that bad. Now, whoever is advising Farragher, and I assume someone is, really needs to take a long, hard look at themselves, because here's a horse that was absolutely chucked in by it, but by any objective measure, that it's going up in trip. It's a 3-year-old, and what does he do? He tries to make all. And it's not as if the horse fell into a hole and finished tailed off. Stuck on well enough, and I thought that was a spectacularly ill-judged ride. It's the worst I've seen, I have to say. And am I pocket talking? Actually, I'm not, but that doesn't make any difference, because I think, if you look at that again, that would, with a jockey on that would win 3 or 4. No danger at all. No doubt in my mind at all. Dreadful.
John?
He could have knocked me down with a feather when he started him out the running. We discussed off air about whether Agus gives them instructions or not. I think the biggest problem with Agus is not having winners at the minute is what's going on in the saddle in some of these horses. He's 3 main men, Tom Marquand, Caden Fallon and Farragher. I don't think there's been much progress over the last 5 years between them, and I think it's starting to show.
You could argue they're in decline. At least one of those is in decline.
Marquand's ride on Raffhead yesterday was ridiculous. Yep. Nothing short, because to sit 3 lengths detached last and then make the ground up so quickly that he was in front of the toe pole, it was just clueless. I mean, he should have been trying to get to the front 30 yards out. That's bog basic common sense thinking. That's as is going into a Magnet Cup and thinking, well, I'm on the least experienced horse in the race. I'm going up in trip. What shall I do? What wouldn't I do? Well, I wouldn't make the running, so I'll have a bash at that.
Yeah, dreadful.
Because that was a baffling decision.
I just had some context to it. I watched the race actually on my phone, which wasn't the best quality, and I was equally livid after the race to the similarities of probably Chris and yourself, John. But as I'm a data nerd, did I expect it to lead? No, I didn't. I expected him to concentrate the first furlong or so, getting your position and then settling it. Might have been that no one else wanted to get on with it and he were left in front at 33, 34 miles an hour, which he was. It was soft early fractions, so the fractions weren't testing early. I don't know. From a data point of view, it says that the ride, it's not good, it's not bad. It suited the front end at the end of the day. The Fox Legacy was handy. See That Storm was handy. The one, if you're going to analyse the form but without bias or prejudice, Kent Source, Erzinger, that finished 4th. It was the only one to get close, and that's gone down £10 since joining from Paddy Toomey. So if anyone's just going to do a form book, it's that one. I'll be honest, I'm a bit stumped. I get what Chris is saying. I get what anyone else has said that's backed Archivis, because he could never get it to drop it. Only time I saw the horse drop the bit, was on the bend turning for home. And I'm thinking, that's a long time to go when you've just decided not to settle. So my one critique of Mr. Farragher would be, if I was 8 stone and did that, then I would have popped him out like he did. I thought he was a little bit too active on him early, because if you look at him, he kind of pushes him up early as if he's going to make the running. And I'm thinking, maybe I wouldn't have done that. Just get him settled then. Once you're out and you know you can sit 3rd or 4th, then it's not a problem. There's petrol left in the tank. He kicked, I think, was it 3.5, 4 out? I think the winner was challenging him. And he actually got the better of Fox Legacy, a good length and a half. But then obviously the gas ran out. Final half a furlong.
Yeah, I wasn't convinced he was appreciating the last furlong myself.
No, I think he's a perfect Cambridgeshire type in that if that's what they choose to do, they probably won't. It's going to probably end up a Group 2 horse by then, maybe over a mile and 1. But it is what it is. I did find it hard to read when I looked at the data. I'm thinking, if I'm analysing this from a figures point of view, I'm saying that the ride, whilst nothing great, wasn't that bad in the way the race transpired. But I get all points on this. I mean, I backed it anti-purse. I was a bit sick, obviously. I knew it'd go off about 2s on the day. It did. There you go. It's one of them things. We never have any luck.
Only bad luck. Yeah.
Absolutely. Fortunate for the Barsters there that we didn't get any joy on that. There was one other race that I was asked to look at from a listener on Saturday, And it was the one, sadly, where we're talking about luck. We put a bet out in the race called Woodshaw Whisper, who actually fell on the flat.
Fucking hell, yeah.
I'm not going to put too much context onto it because it was a funny race after that. But again, the baby Joseph JP earned Desmond Castle for Christmas. So not Castle, it's Castle.
Castle, yes, absolutely. Windsor
Yeah.
Castle, not Windsor Castle. Castle.
You can't meet royalty and say Castle, can you, John?
No, you can't. No, you have to say Castle.
Castle.
And you call the Queen Ma'am. You used to be able to call Ma'am, never Ma'am. It's always Ma'am.
I never knew that either.
There you go, you see.
Desmond Castle, have a look. Robbie was on about that and he said, have a look at it. I get what Robbie's saying, but because of the race circumstances, I'm not jumping up and down saying, come on, everyone, let's get on the old Desmond Castle not off train. Probably wasn't off. That's what they are. But yeah, it's probably worth a look. See what people think if it goes in your notebooks. Could have possibly have won, maybe. So thanks for that, Robbie, for getting in touch with that. Before we carry on, John, your kipometer. Give Benjamin some places you won't play because of the watering or what they do with the track.
Brighton,
Yeah.
Catterick,
Yep.
Haydock I'm very circumspect about.
Yeah.
Probably Hamilton.
I tell you what, you're right about just thinking about Haydock, and I know Haydock's always been a bone of contention, tell wrong, been there for many years, but this fella that's took it up, there's a lot of biases on that straight course still, isn't there? Far side, sometimes stand side. It's very tough for punters, I think, sometimes when you get that watering. In some respects, you just half want it to just be bad weather and rain anyway and just bet on the soft ground.
Totally.
Yeah, than just all this shit about, this will like the fast ground, and then it's riding, as Benjamin said early on, probably on the slow side of good, because even though the times were getting near standard, well, the Group 1 race you'd expect to get, or break standard. Certainly some of the other races you expect to get closer to standard than what they actually did. Jeff Lynch says the Super Saturday too much racing in one day and only so many hours you can study. Jeff, I actually believe that Saturdays are immensely tough for anyone because the amount of stuff you've got to. And my only advice to that is try and specialise on the type of races that you want to look at and just ignore everything else. That's what you have to do on really busy days. You can't go through them all. So just specialise on certain ones. Is that how you do it, John, these days? Do you just follow your tracker and your notes like when it's just too busy and you can't be asked to just go troll through everything?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I just haven't really got the mental capacity to go through all that now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Our very own Jack, young Jack, has been on, and he says, has the market ever been more spot on? Late gambles proven as decisive as ever. Big on the show drifters missing the kick. Less liquidity, meaning late money, is becoming very smart. The last point for me, Jack, is very pertinent because if someone's having it right off and the markets are dense, you can't see it. You don't notice it. However, when there's no liquidity in India, starts shoving money back on the exchange in the last sort of 3 minutes, you can see the smart money. It becomes smart money. Is there money to be made off it? Well, there may be some modelers out there that's already working on that, see how things have changed. I certainly haven't got the data on it. I know what he means by drifters missing the kick. What I would say is horses that are well bet late on a lot of the time, not all of the time, is weighing room info for the leader. I think that gets out 100%. Whoever's doing it, or whichever jockeys are doing it, or maybe on the payroll for it, not insinuating they are, by the way, I'm just saying that info is getting out because that late money that's your leader. Very rare are the held up. That always seem to be in the right place early. Is that a fair assessment, John, how I've seen it?
Very fair.
Yeah. Chris, do you think that's where we are now in terms of fair markets?
I do. I think it's lethal, but I think you're right because there's less liquidity. It's more stark, isn't it? It's easier to spot than if it was a very liquid market. But it does seem to be deadly, doesn't it? In the last sort of, maybe we're guilty of recency bias, but the last few months, the late moves have been spot on, haven't they? They really have. So somebody knows something, put it that way.
If I can give advice to any punter out there or is a bit frightened by drift, try and analyse the connections and the pilot, right? If you think the pilot's not likely to be on the take and the owner doesn't gamble at all, they're just not interested in that only breeding, I think take it with a pinch of salt, the drift. Money makes markets. And if you've got like the Mad Woman or Kirsten Rousing, or you've got something like that owned horse with a normally trustworthy jockey, then I don't think you've any fear about drift. That's one thing I mean, we put one out the other week of Agassiz that drifted from 2-1 out of 5-1. But it's a non-gambling owner, and it did very well to win. That was under Farragher as well. They do win. Drifters do conjure up surprises, and whilst it was surprising, it was much the best on the day anyway. Smiler 57. ITV overloaded with ex-riders and takeout merchant. Weaver's voice is a form of torture, he says. Really? I don't think Weaver's bad. Sliding along on the front end, hoping for a slice of cake. What the fuck? Badly in need of good journos in the camp without fork tongue. It's easier said than done. Don't forget, ITV have just landed a contract to show racing till end of 2030. So however we perceive the coverage, John, Chris, they are doing a good job, are they not?
Yeah, by whatever metrics clearly whatever metrics they are judged, yeah, it's successful. I mean, if it didn't work for the TV company, the contract wouldn't have been extended. By that token, yeah, they're doing what they promised, and I don't know how they're judged, but yeah, it must be work. But I mean, don't you find it's all a bit sort of kind of TV quick? A lot of the coverage now, it kind of reminds me of. Yeah, particularly Hayley Turner, for instance. She reminds me of one of those magazines that, you get at supermarket checkouts, the TV Quick or, Real Life Murder, the ones that have sort of headlines like, I don't know, I married my dead father's ghost and now I'm pregnant with zombies. That kind of, nonsense.
That sounds very Sunday Sport.
Yeah, it's that kind of, it's just also kind of low brow, isn't it? It's just dreary. And you think, I don't know, maybe they've worked out the sort of median IQ of the average viewer and said this is what they want to see. But I think it's also depressing. It's so fucking low brow, I think. And I just think there's only so much of that you can take before you think, what, this isn't for me.
Yeah. John, your thoughts on Smiler's comments? Mr. David Ramsey Locke is known by. What do you think with our...
That's yes for me.
Yeah. I know.
I think ITV and the men do a good job. Turner baffles me. The same as they brought the necks together on the minute she's retired.
Exactly.
They seem to be labouring under some misunderstanding where they think she's extremely popular. I've not known anybody say they want more of her on the telly. And she can actually gabble on and say absolutely nothing for minutes on end. She's definitely not my cup of tea, but they've got a 4-year contract. It seems to be doing what they want it to do.
Turner's comments will never be bettered, I don't think, though, for entertainment. On Nick Luck on Sunday, she answered Nick Luck for saying, why didn't more jockeys try the stand side, which was obviously favoured towards the end of the week. Yeah. And Turner replied, well, we don't like to go near the stand side because of the crowd noise.
Yeah. Yeah, the paying customer. We don't want any interaction with the paying customer. Good God. The great
that was
public.
Good one.
Yuck.
I really enjoyed that one. It's going to be some classics. ITV maybe looking favourably on Turner when they maybe shouldn't. Smiler 57, that answers your question. Not sitting on the fence here. It's just a case of, look, racing needs ITV. Look what's happened to Greyhounds when Sky Sports dropped the coverage.
Deader than disco, yeah.
And that is super news for racing. And I'm not blowing smoke, but congratulations to all ITV that have ignored us.
Yeah, hurrah for ITV. Hurrah. 3 cheers for ITV and everyone in sales.
Wave your rattlers.
Yeah, fucking right.
Can we have some of that gravy, please?
Yeah, can we send us a fucking gravy boat each to celebrate? How about that? Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah. Vincent Williams been on. Good supporter of ours is Vincent. Thank you for being with us from a long time ago, really. ITV Super Saturday, Bucky on the Rails interview. I didn't see this.
No.
Who took on more thunder for a 5-figure loss? The man handled it well. He showed class live on TV. You lads ever seen a bookie or punter completely lose it in full view? What I will say is, I think Michael Cannon did a good interview from Ollie Bell.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. That was high class. A man that knows his stuff and also is prepared to lay a bet to his opinion, which I'm afraid if we had more of these on board, both online and on course, I think we'd have a much healthier game. Yes. We need more Michael Cannons, not less of them. In answer to Vincent's question, Chris, You've been in this game a long time,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you've done the grounds bit at
Yeah.
Wimbledon. I
All
love
of
your
that.
Wimbledon ground stories. They're great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen any bookie or punter completely lose it in full view?
Absolutely. There was a guy at Wimbledon who had the sobriquet Big Derek, and his name, funnily enough, was Derek, and he was large and quarrelsome. And he basically, there was a famous race, and I can't remember, it was right towards the end of Willie Carson's career, and you might remember this. And he was riding one for Hamdan at an evening meeting, and Carson sort of pushed this horse like 10 lengths clear and then eased down in the final furlong and got nutted on the line. And it was something like 11 to 10 chance, and I think the whole track was on. And Big Derek threw chairs at the screens in the on-course Wimbledon betting shop, cups of coffee, and was running around ranting and raving. I think he had something like $5,000 on it at evens or something like that. So yeah, that was a genuine example of somebody that was just robbed basically by incompetence. And soon after that, I think a couple of weeks later, Carson retired, concluding that perhaps he'd lost his edge, shall we say. So yeah, I've seen that just the once. But most people you find in racing are pretty stoic, aren't they, in the face of defeat? Because it's quite embarrassing to sort of, kick out and moan when there's people in front of you. So you can do it at home. You can kick the cat and throw the remote control across it. But when it's people with you, you sort of just shrug and sort of internalise it. So I think you see fewer examples of that than probably in any other sport.
Before I come on to John, I'm hoping John's got a good story. I ain't really got a good story, but when I used to work for like lots of bookmakers when I was younger, clerking at various venues or whatever, they were all like gentlemen, really.
Yeah.
Seriously, the only time I've seen people lose it is under the breath to me, when they'll sort of lean over the book and take a look at it. It'll be slagging somebody off. I can't beat that fat fucker. Every time he backs one of theirs, he fucking has me over,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fair enough because it's pretty unseemly. And I think, most proper gamblers, as opposed to sort of, once a year merchants, are pretty much resigned to losing, aren't they? So you develop a very thick skin and the ability to sort of conceal whatever losses, make you hurt. Whereas I think once a year punters would be more likely to sort of jump up and down and scream at the injustice of it all. But it doesn't mean to say you don't feel it, but you just don't show it, do you? Because it's a bit babyish, isn't it? If you can't stand losing, then don't bet, isn't it?
I think that's it. When I lose a lot of money, or did in the past, not so much these days with affordability check, but when I did lose a lot of money, I didn't feel it in rage, anger, or embarrassment. I just used to sink in my chair.
Yeah, just a sort of impotent rage, isn't it? You sort of, but I think it's very, very rare where you see in betting shops, particularly with the old lucky numbers and the fruit machines, you do see people lose their bananas quite often. But I think that you see that if you talk to most betting shop managers, most of the incidents of people going bolo is a result of lucky numbers or the fruit machines rather than horse racing, I think.
There's loads of videos on that, a punter's smashing machine up.
Yeah, but they they are. You see, I would call those people gamblers, and I think it's not just semantics, but I think people who bet on horses are punters, and I think that they are not interchangeable terms. I would never say someone who bets on horses is necessarily a gambler. They're a punter because they've got a different mindset, a different attitude to life, and a different attitude to the way in which they use their money to put their money at risk. Whereas I think fruit machine players are gamblers and have a different mindset and a different attitude, etc. So maybe that's just me, but I don't class them in the same category at all.
Yeah. Have we anything to add on that?
No.
John?
No, not really. There was a motorbike at Redcar one afternoon. There was a 3-horse race. He lost a lot of it because he got told one of these 3 wasn't off. So needless.
Wrong one.
Well, needless to say, he just laid that one exclusively, and it pissed him.
It's often the way.
Them little crate things that the stand on, he was lobbing them all over the place after the race.
It's true, isn't it? You often find when in the rare occasions if you get information to say this is definitely not off, you often find 8 times out of 10 that is definitely off. And I found that so many times where you think this is no good, that's no good, or they're stopping this. You think that's handy, da 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 da. And 8 times out of 10, it's either complete bollocks or you've been put away. And I always think that if you find your way. If you find yourself in a position where you hear this information and you would not ordinarily have heard it, it's probably 200th hand, isn't it? It's gone down the line and Chinese whispers and it's turned into something it isn't. So I'm always a bit suspicious of that.
I'd have to be on extremely good terms with the
correct.
jockey to get a not off under my skin.
Yeah, precisely, John. If you knew the fella firsthand, you think, okay, I know this person, I trust them. You could take this to the bank. But when you hear it from a man who knows a man who knows a man, however good they are, however well known they are to you as individuals, the likelihood is it's bollocks, or they're putting you away, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. John poll this morning on best festival of this summer. And I mistakenly put it up, and obviously I've left too much time on it, so it's not beat yet. But currently the vote stands at, and this is summer flat. This is not. Don't get it confused.
Racing rubbish. Yeah.
Royal Ascot's on 44.1%, York 40%, Newmarket 3.8%, Goodwood 11.7%. Yeah. So, John, the greatest festival in the world, the York Ebo meeting, is running second. It's getting beat, John. We need some Bulgarian bots to come in and start voting.
Yeah. Are we surprised?
I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised that Newmarket's so low as it is. I think everyone realises that's a kip. Goodwood I kind of get for the champagne merchants, and on a sunny day the views are just fabulous. Looking across the downs, incredible. I mean, I could sit there all day just watching that.
But that views the same when racing's not
on. Yeah, you can actually do that and just park your car up one side of the track. At the top of the track, there's a gate there. Just sit there, get your chairs out, get the champagne out there, and have the same views.
In your £95 Panama hat, which they won't let you buy. Yeah, that one.
yeah. I'll never forgive them for that.
No, 3 years later, we're still going on about it. Yeah.
Awful people that run that track. Not like York, not like William Darby.
Proper geezer,
yeah. Good guys, these.
Yeah, he'd sell you a Panama.
Yeah, he would.
He would actually.
Proper,
yeah. Just give you an update on Jess's walking a bit, but just got one more racing question. Move topic to John's sort of stuff that he's put up today to go through. Shane made a point about Galway Races Festival being 7 days of dross, poor handicaps and shit racing, but it's an economic saviour to the west of Ireland. Shane, absolutely spot on. Like the numbers that turn up there for the crack is just incredible, and go for it, you guys. I'm a big supporter. No matter what racing's on, if you guys that's what you do, then that's it. I agree. It's massive. The attendances are enormous.
There's still hope for the regular racing festival, then, isn't there?
Maybe not.
Sponsored by ICI, that'd be it.
Yeah, ICI factory.
Green smoke over the top of it. 24 hours a day.
I mean, you got to go away there with the seafood and that. I mean, Lecture's got prawns that glow in the
3-headed fish. So. There's a lot there. Local delicacy, isn't it? Yeah.
Last racing question, which is from Farley. It's not really a question. It's something we very much agree on. Are we in an era of weighing room decline? Yes. Everyone seems much of a muchness these days, with the gap between the top and bottom seemingly minuscule, and it coming down to who realises the track biases first on the day, etc. Totally agree. It's brains and brawn. You need a bit of brawn as a jockey, persuade a horse to win, especially with the new whip rules. And of course, you need a brain to actually work out what's going on. I have seen many a top jockey, by the way, this season that have only had one ride on the card and have not even bothered to check any biases, and they've gone completely in the wrong place. And I'm not on about halfway house jockey. I'm on about the top 10 in the country that's done this. Sometimes the brains are in the bollocks, the brains are in the wherever, but sometimes it's not on racing. But I suppose that's where we are in terms of talent in the weighing room these days. Not like the good old Corthan, Edry, Carson, Piggott. Lots of other good jockeys that don't even make that list, like John Reed. Go on and on and on. John's got plenty back in the day that would certainly, the current lot wouldn't be fit to lace their boots. John, come on to your list. We'll start with racing, as we're still going about racing. Blue for you, disgrace. Now, I read this because I didn't know until seeing some of the outrage on social media and yourself. it ran without its tongue tie.
Yeah, and what I couldn't get my head round really was the fact that they just said, "Oh, we couldn't get it on."
Why didn't they get someone that could get it on?
Well, that's what baffled me. I mean, if a horse is declared to run in a tongue tie, and I think it wasn't it tongue tie first time or something.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I think, or the tongue tie was either making a return after X amount of time off. Now, this is the third favourite in the race. A lot of people might have yelled that tongue tie as the last piece in the jigsaw and gone in and had a bet. Well, once it was announced the tongue tie wasn't going to the start with blow for you, that horse drifted like a barge and ran accordingly. Now, is that fair on all these people that put toe and toe together and made four involving the tongue tie situation, and then suddenly they've had that, well, just swept away? They're left holding a ticket that they'll think is as useless as anyone else does.
Personally, my own view that if you declare a horse in a certain headgear, and if you forgot to bring that headgear, or there's no replacement headgear for the horse, or you can't get the tongue tie on, you should be deemed a non-runner.
Yeah, I mean, it's sensible.
The stewards should take control of
Yeah.
that and say that that's not fair on the betting public, betting on that wearing said headgear.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry to keep harping back to this, but once again, there's only one winner here, and that's gross profit
go.
tax.
Well, that's a deal that we hope to get to change in time.
Yeah, but it's everything you look at where stewards, BHA, whatever, fail to act, all comes back to gross profit tax. And they cannot say jack shit in their defence.
You can see what's happening. It's much harder for punters, myself, you, everyone else, to back winners when we don't know what part of the track's quickest. We don't know if they've slung too much on. They're running it wrong equipment. That's not a professional sport in my eyes. But there we go.
Yeah.
That's where we're at in terms of things like this that seem to continue to go on season after season.
Well, while this funding model is in place.
Sure. Two things then. Going back to Mr. William Darby, Clark Course at York, did the racing welfare walk last week. Our good old producer Jess managed to bend his ear for 5 minutes. It was an occasion, lots of money was raised, over £100,000, I believe. Jess herself, thanks to you guys and you brilliant listeners, raised £1,300 or thereabouts to that total,
Brilliant.
Which is just superb because this helps people that suffer from mental health issues within racing and do have genuine problems, which is a very tough sport to work in because this is no picnic working in a racing yard. It's very hard graft for these youngsters and sometimes things can get on top of you. So thank you for that. Just one thing, Chris, on that.
Yes.
Just bringing you back in. The farmer's wife. She did it a fairly good time, I believe.
Excellent.
Yeah, she's good. And I never knew this, did you? She's got a twin sister.
Yes, I did, and I have.
Fucking hell! You've been talking to her.
No, not at all. No, she showed me the video of her playing in her own band with her dad. So
Wow.
yeah, this is old hat. Tell me something I don't know. I want to see a picture of her Cosmos. That's what I want to see. Well, she sent me a picture of her Cosmos. Just to be absolutely clear, they are bedding plants. Right, there's nothing. There's no euphemism there.
I know what everyone's thinking there.
Yeah. No, her Cosmos are blooming. They are fucking magnificent. Let me tell you.
Yeah. A blooming Cosmos.
Oh yes.
Well, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, you see, I've taken the wind out your sails there. You see.
Yeah.
I'm like an onion. Peel one layer, there's another one underneath. You just can't.
Charlotte, Lottie Brader, stop telling him so much. Yeah,
she didn't tell me.
man.
I just kind of fillet it from her, honestly, with my easy charm and glib, superficial personality and glib patter. Works the treat every time. Yeah. Yes, I did, and she's very, very talented, a musician as well. So there you go.
Wow,
there you go.
What a family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not daft, these farmers.
No, they're not. They're not at all.
They've already done a harvest as well. Like they've already done the wheat and stuff.
Well, they haven't. The poor old fuckers that work there haven't they? Like sort of, they bust them in, don't they? Beat them to death. Well, I said the overseer on the old white horse giving them a crack. Yeah, pick those runner beans. Yeah. Well, that's how I imagine farming. If I'm wrong, then get at me.
Right.
Yes, anyway.
Moving on from that, somewhat more positive, of course, supporting Charlotte's cause about go racing in Yorkshire. The summer festival begins, the Yorkshire Racing Summer Festival, on Friday the 18th of July to Saturday the 26th of July. And this brings in Chris with his greyhound, because don't forget,
Yes.
the greyhound's looking after the grandkids in the 6 weeks holiday.
Correct.
And the Yorkshire courses are putting on some really good offers, and there'll be an article on this put up it tomorrow. So check the Twitter timeline, and it's all the pricing for the race days, so you don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to think, how much is this? And I can promise you, some of the offers are really, really good for this. There's a Queen tribute band, for example, and beer festival at Pontefract on Friday the 18th of July. It's only £7 to get it picnic enclosure, though.
Is it?
How good's that?
That's very good if you like Queen, I suppose.
This evening, yeah. We once saw a German Queen tribute band, and they couldn't do the W's, so it was I want to break free.
I like that. I'd pay to see that. I want to break free. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's more my sort of thing. Yeah. Hard V's, no soft W's, eh?
Obviously, next week, Friday, 18th of July, Pontefract, Saturday the 19th, Ripon, Sunday the 19th, Doncaster evening, Summer Saturday Series, Cowboys and Country.
And what? Oh, country.
Cowboys and Country.
What on earth that about? What do you think that's about? No, seriously, what do you think it's about? Do you think it's sort of like country and western or something? Or
But
don't you think, joking aside, that that northern racing tracks show a lot of imagination in the way in which they market the sport? It's not the same old crap. Why can't that imagination transfer to sort of the mothership, the BHA mothership? Because all we see in terms of the way the sports market is the same old crap, isn't it? Videos about making memories with lots of glossy, lovely people enjoying champagne at the races. And the reality is, sounds horrible, racing's core support is people like us, isn't it? So why aren't they spending the money trying to attract more people like us, our age group, retired people, etc.? It's just baffling, really. Yeah. Oh, no, plus I want that £1 million and all, don't you?
I do.
I want that £1 million or bit of it.
I actually do. Sunday 20th of July. John's off to Redcar this Sunday if you want to meet John.
Is he?
Circus Family Fun Day.
He's going to shoot him out of a cannon. Yeah. Fucking the doors of the car will fall off as he drives in. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the one and only time I went to the circus? My mother never used to do anything like motherly with me and take me places, Mm-hmm. This once I was 5 or 6 years old, and she said, "I'm going to take you to the circus." And I was a bit worried at first in case you was
run away. Goodbye, cruel world. I'm off to join the circus.
Stick me on the freight show and just piss off. But I said, "Oh, all right then." So I went along to the circus with her, and they had a big top in the middle of the race course, and we got right down near the front, next to the railings, and first of all, the clowns came in the car with all the bits dropping off it, and then...
So I'll have that for 200 quid at the end, It's a bargain, wrong colour and all.
They brought some elephants in and had them standing on their hind legs on buckets and stuff and all this. Then there was a bloke on a trapeze. They started putting this wire fencing up around the perimeter. You just look like draw netting, really, only in wire. Bloody gate opened and in comes these fucking lions. Well, one of them comes running straight over to where we were, jumps up and clamped onto the fence as though it was going to come up and over the top, climbing over. I looked down to my mother just to see her disappearing out the back of the fucking...
what a memory.
She basically just fucked off and said, "Mate, to the lions."
Bless you.
Yeah. Obviously, Big Top returns to Redcar on Sunday the 20th. Bouncy castles, face painting.
A lot.
For all the kids. Hopefully the stilt women are there.
Stilts. You don't see that anymore, do you? People used to wander around stilts.
You know what
do they? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly the right age.
Yeah.
The week finishes off with York doing an evening meeting and then a Saturday meeting. And for £15, you get the picnic enclosure in the middle, which is fabulous. We do it for the EBO meeting on day one. And that's Sophie Ellis-Bextor and Natasha Bedingfield on Friday night with Ronan Keating on the Saturday. So there you go. For 30 notes, you can see the stars like that. And racing, of course, you see how they market.
Oh, I'm saying that Sophie Bellis extra or whatever she's called on Friday
Yeah,
night.
yeah. Well,
Richard, you
it's,
like
you
all
know,
that, do you? Yes, I know the type.
Yeah,
it's like Murder on Zidane's floor.
Jawohl.
All
yeah.
that shit. Did Robbie Williams once say she had a face like a satellite dish or something like that?
I believe that's
Sure.
true. Yes,
Yeah.
that was his contribution. That's for sure.
That'd be a shout line for him.
He's not a gentleman.
No, he
is
isn't. He snorts a lot. Well, he did do. Don't know if he does now. Pierre Charles Boudeux, John.
Yeah. Anyone remember him?
This was ages ago. Was this something to do with some sexual allegations?
Yeah, he's been off for years, waiting of a trial date for these rape allegations.
All right.
They finally got a date set up, and I'm just wondering where everybody will stand on this. If he was found not guilty, surely there has to be some sort of recompense for being stood down for 4 years. No, that's a hell of a time, isn't it?
It is. Chris, do you know the legal framework in France?
Mais non, I'm afraid I don't. I'm unfamiliar with French jurisprudence, so I can't comment on it, unfortunately. But clearly, yeah, it's permissible for them to wait 4 years before trial. It's very odd, but there you go. Justice delayed isn't justice, is it, after all?
No, it took a long time. That took a long time. Next one, John. I'm lost here. Caulfield, fucking idiot, you've said.
Well, she is.
What's happened?
This Caulfield woman has been appointed in a key position in Irish racing last week.
Yeah.
And she gave this interview where she likened racing's predicament with betting tax. Snooker when it was sponsored by Embassy.
Oh, yes, I did see that. Sorry, I do now. No, yeah.
Yeah. My point is, why is racing not learning and is habitually putting these imbeciles in key positions? I mean, she clearly has not a Scooby about how the funding model of racing works. Otherwise, she wouldn't have made such a utterly stupid comparison.
Yeah.
And these are the people that are going to save the game for us over the next 10
years. There's no logic, is it? It's almost like saying snooker existed so that people can smoke fag. Ergo, it's just nonsense. But the reality is that racing exists, or racing is sustained by people betting on it. You can remove cigarettes from the sport of snooker with no downside, other than the advertising, of course. Snooker isn't sort of harmed irreparably by stopping people smoking. That's just mad, isn't it? Well, it's so stupid. It's not worth debating. Were it not for the fact she's in a senior position.
I agree with sentiments there. UNESCO update. John says, "Are we working alone?" The thing with the UNESCO thing, obviously, it's been put forward to the right sort of people in the right sort of place. We have done some very good stuff on that, and this is to protect racing culturally. It might not be racing betting as per se. It could be something like bloodstock. It could be something like breeding or tracks or race courses should be protected from turning them into building sites. What we've seen in the ground world, because obviously we've got listed buildings, we've got historical value and value to the public. Yes, this has been put forward. Have I heard anything strong back at the moment? Not as yet, but the right people are listening, I can assure you. This is a very, very complex project to complete. So we've got the racing tax debate currently going on, which obviously Brant Dunshee today has said again and reiterated that racing people must make a lot of noise about this. Write to your MP. I know you've done it before with affordability, but they need to be absolutely harassed on this. Again, that's another project. The other project, the only way we can get affordability about turned is if either Big Corp just say, no, we're not doing it anymore, and just point blank refuse to do it, which under licensing conditions from the Gambling Commission is very difficult. The only other way we can do it is remove the Gambling Commission board. That's another difficult task to do, but that's the only way you're going to get rid of it. Racing cannot thrive and cannot grow whilst the Gambling Commission current ensemble is there. That is a fact. And until we do get a chance to remove them, I'm afraid we are in this sort of paradox. Crazy world we're living in, but there we go. That's where we are right now in terms of the industry. A lot of work's gone on behind the scenes. Like I said, myself and Jess produced a document for government, and that's all gone in, and a lot of decent people have seen it, like the ideas. Some are workable, some are unworkable, but we are where we are, and we shall see where we are in October when, first of all, the racing tax is announced. whether we're going to get hit with that and whether it's going to be very, very difficult for the industry going forwards. But I do hold high hopes on that. I really do. I'm not saying it's good. I do hold high hopes on that for racing. So that's positive. John's next thing here says, Gary Eats, we can do better.
Yeah, well, I think a good show review on occasion would be what the listeners would like to say. By all means, let us know, but we have had favourable feedback to our previous food reviews and things. And if you'd like to actually see us go and do a food review somewhere,
Yeah.
because we had this joker brought to our attention called Gary Eats, who's on YouTube, and he's got like, I don't know, 56 million followers. And he's like the Derek Thompson of food reviews.
We don't
Have
pay
you
for
seen?
anything.
Have you seen it, Chris? You ought to
No,
watch,
I haven't. I'll have to have a look. What is the English chap that just reviews all kinds of food, or?
He's from London. He's quite an old, boring fella.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He's organising his plate, and he'll say, I'll just move you chips over there. I hope you don't mind and all this. And
I hate him already, and I've never seen any of it.
Pretty much got on my nerves when I saw it, and I thought, surely to God, there's somebody out there who can do better. Oh, yes, there is. It's us.
Yeah, we watch this space, folks. There might be some televised.
Well, we're going to need to diversify when racing goes tits up, aren't we?
I think so. We'll give some entertainment. So some televised bar stewards maybe coming from August onwards. So watch this space. And it's only for your entertainment value, nothing else. Coming on to the next question. We've got 3 funnies. And I suppose John's final question. John's become Samuel the Cat with his last question. But first of all, Ronnie Omelette.
Yes.
What in regards to racing have the bar stewards changed their mind about in the last 12 months?
Nothing, because we're always right. Nothing at all.
Changed my mind.
Nothing.
No. Do you know what? I think that's a good barometer, because we've been calling what's going to happen for 4 years.
Yeah.
There's not really anything that's not really come to fruition.
Like Nostradamus, aren't we, really? Or Old Moore's Almanac.
Just common sense and not on link. That's about it, really. No, nothing. It's
nothing fundamental. I mean, fundamentally, you guys have called it pretty much spot on the stuff that matters, really. So nothing. No.
I took pelters, a lot of them, for working with Matt Zarb on this particular project. And all I'm going to say is, I know there's lots of reasons why people dislike them and this, that, and the other, right? I can only take people as I find them. They've been straight down the line with me so far. Yeah. They've delivered what they said they would deliver, which was to get me sat in front of people to get a message across, what the racing needs. So, yeah, they've been absolutely splendid to deal with. I get what people say. And obviously, people don't like Matt's stance on grounds. People like James initially was a big part in bringing affordability checks. What did James do? He changed his mind. That's perfectly acceptable to do. He says affordability checks was a mistake. He said it himself. He's apologised, and he said he wants to show that affordability checks do not work. And that's what we need, someone on the other side actually saying that. There's always a bit of slack needed for people that made errors in things, and that's it. So I'm happy with where I'm at. Yes, and it's cost me customers. It's probably cost me a lot of hassle in terms of, because of the characters involved that were on the other side of the coin. But I also think that it's vital sometimes to look beyond the personality and judge the project on its merit. And that's how you get things done. WV Horse and Cricket. Who is your favourite Harry Enfield character? Self-Righteous Brothers. Only me. Tim Nice but dim. Loads of money. Kevin the Teenager or someone else? Chris, you must have a favourite Harry Enfield.
I think Smashy and Nicey were I think their tour de force. I thought they were fabulous because they were absolutely perfect parodies of that whole kind of 1980s Radio 1 disc jockeys. Sort of, you remember the Simon Bateses, the Dave Lee Travises, and the ones that predated that, people like Alan Freeman and Tony Blackburn, that kind of really cheesy, naff kind of maudling sort of disc jockeys that were very happy to talk discreetly about all their charity work, but didn't want anyone to talk about it. So I thought that they were brilliant at that, and I think that the thing that kind of reinforced that they were bang on was that Dave Lee Travis and Simon Bates, neither of whom could see the joke. They thought it was really unfunny, which tells you it was bang on.
Yeah, that is a great point.
They hated it. They said, I can't see there was anything funny in this. It's stupid. Well, they thought, bang, you got it.
Of course, it was all for charity.
It's all for charity, mate. Yeah, and all that kind of
charity.
And the old jumpers they used to wear. Oh, fucking dreadful, but really, really funny. Yeah, talented people.
Yeah, Richard Oils type jumpers.
Yeah, the old crew neck. Yeah, very good.
I would say for me, it was probably, I did love Tim Nicebert.
Yeah,
he was one of my favourites. Wayne and Wayne at a slob.
Yeah,
they were quite good.
A bag. Yeah, I want a brown baby like them other mothers. Yeah,
Old Gits, I think, as well.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, they're all really clever creations. I thought. Yeah, he was very talented guy. Very talented.
What's the other one? Paul. What's the other one? Paul
Whitehouse. Yeah, again, really clever man. Clever man.
Yeah, brilliant. John, who were your favourite?
Well, if I can really go on to the Paul Whitehouse ones, I used to love the bloke in the pub who kept changing his mind depending on what the company was saying.
That was genius, wasn't it? Yeah, that was fucking genius. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. That's right. That is. He said, "Well, what about this?" Oh, yeah. He's totally brilliant, and he's absolutely brilliant.
Yes,
Billy Blake. Remember him with the perm? He used to do the fruit machine. Remember him? He used to come in and go, no. You want to nudge that, hold that. Oh, that's weird. And he knock his gets another 50p. Gets another 50p. Oh, hang on, right. So you got your bells there. Push. Oh no, fuck it. Give me another 50p. Yeah, brilliant. That was really good. Billy.
Yeah. Super question. WV.
Yeah, good one. That.
I like that one. I enjoyed that one. Coming on to Bert Doncaster before John's finale. Does human cannibalism have a place in the 21st century?
Of course.
Well, I think the way things are going, I think it'll be a prerequisite for survival, won't it? I think the ability to sort of parboil ahead, I think, is going to be the difference between the winners and the losers in the future. I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Certainly, if there's like wars and everything's obliterated, if we're going down that route, everyone's going to that's it, isn't it?
Every Dharma cookbook, isn't it? That's what it's going to be. Dennis Nielsen, dinner for one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tastes like pork, apparently.
Yes. I used to have an English master when I was at school who used to say, who spoke very persuasively about his time in India, and he was a very old chap, and he was there. I think one of his teachers was sort of a private tutor to whatever Maharaja or Maharani sort of was in charge of whatever state, and he spoke very, very evocatively exactly what you just said. He said that human meat just basically tastes like pork, although slightly sweeter than pork. But that's what he said human flesh tastes like, slightly sweetened pork. Like sort of, like bacon with sort of maple syrup on, like the Americans have. It's very similar to that, apparently. There you go.
Wowzers. Love it. Cannibalism will be alive and well, folks. And as Chris said just a minute ago, we've got nothing wrong. So...
We're right. It's like Lord of the Flies coming next, isn't it? Okay, now the cooking pot.
So John's interesting question here is the landscape in 25 years will be dead and we'll be glad. I've got some listeners' comments here on what it's going to be like. Harry Diamond, it could be banned or thriving. This and the next government will decide. Money on former, I'm afraid. I think all animal sports could be in serious trouble in 25 years in terms of whether legal or not. Bill Carson, 25 years from now, Basher still telling us that he won the French Guineas, and Charlie still looking for a winner on the turf.
Naught from 5 billion,
Blogger down and out on Skid Row, rambling on to strangers. Tom O, age 99, has to make one more call for posterity. He probably would. Luke Tucker, 25 years from now, National will be well and truly gone, leaving flat racing still going, with Ed Chamberlain looking for a story in a 7-race card at Newmarket with 3 runners in each. Max, anyone can get on his 50p. That's about now, I think.
Yeah.
Oxford 1, 25 years will horse racing still be a thing in this country? I'm not so sure.
No.
I'd imagine half the courses would have been closed by then.
Yeah.
You two guys, what's your 25-year vision, even though me and John are goners, I think, by then?
Well, this will be a prison planet, won't it? It'll be some sort of science fiction nightmare. I think our galactic overlords will reveal themselves to us, and this is going to be a prison planet, I think.
Dominated, of course, by artificial intelligence.
Yep, absolutely. There is a pushback against AI. If you go down the rabbit hole, I think it's called the Machine Learning Research Institute, which is a sort of a kind of a really far out think tank that looks at the risks that AI will potentially pose in the future, and they posit a scenario whereby AI becomes so advanced that AI actually then declares war on anybody alive who's currently alive who stood in the way of the development of AI. And they kind of extrapolate and develop this idea that AI is a lot more sinister than perhaps we're being told. But worth a look there. I think it's the Machine Learning Research Institute. Check that out. It's really, really weird, but definitely worth a read.
After last year's fun show, that this is a fun topic, folks. John?
I think we'll be in a hell of a state in 25 years, to be honest. I think racing will be long gone.
Yeah.
I think there'll be like super states where Europe's sort of banded against Russia and China, and Trump's offspring will be in charge in America because he'll change the law. Only people with the surname Trump can be in charge.
Yeah, funny that. Yeah, that's not too weird either.
No, that bit about us being glad we'll be gone, I wasn't entirely joking.
I think it'll be a dystopian nightmare. I genuinely think that it's going to be awful. I think there'll be civil war in this country in 5 years. I think that's my prediction.
Yeah, we're only really salt mine fodder now.
Yeah, we are. Work a drone.
DM me if you need a pick me up tonight.
We're selling fallout shelters, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
use the code BARStewards1 for your 25% discount. Yeah. John will come and install it.
If you're worried by AI warfare and the potential dystopian future and destruction of the world as you know it, don't fear. I will cheer you up.
We're doing a preppers podcast, aren't we? For that whole movement in America that's getting ready for the.
I'm just going to send them a listen to the safety dance.
Oh, God, fucking you off yourself listen to that shit, wouldn't you? God, fuck's sake.
On that note, we've done everything on this show, from AI destruction to dystopia to, of course, terrible rides in Ireland at Limerick, blue for you not wearing headgear. Everything on this show, it gets discussed. Hope you enjoyed it. We're back for more next week. Bye for now.